Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. This is Sports Pass with me, Deepika, and coming up in the next half an hour. Tennis legend Rafael Nadal announces retirement from professional tennis at the end of the season. 22 times Grand Slam champion to represent Spain in his final appearance at Davis Cup final. England cricketer Joe Root reaches 20,000 runs, scores 6th double ton in Test match at Multan. West Indies women eye semi-final spot as they take on Bangladesh in group stage encounter today at Sharjah Cricket Stadium. And Lionel Messi to be in action tonight for FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Venezuela. Ecuador to play Paraguay in another encounter. And to begin with the biggest update of the hour, star player Rafael Nadal has officially announced his retirement from tennis. Nadal ends his incredible career which saw him winning 22 Grand Slam titles. 14 of these titles came at the French Open that led the 38-year-old Spanish legend earning the nickname King of Clay due to his dominance on the red dirt. In a video message, Rafael Nadal revealed that the news is confirmed and stated that he is retiring from professional tennis after Davis Cup final. He further said that the last couple of years have been difficult for him and he has not been able to play without limitations. The 38-year-old will make his final appearance for Spain at November's Davis Cup finals in Malaga. And to discuss more on this, I am joined by DD India correspondent Naran Singh from Newsroom. Naran, good evening. It's a big news when we talk about Rafael Nadal. The King of Clay has finally announced his retirement. We know about his injuries and his absence from the Lever Cup also intrigued the fans a lot. What more are we tracking on this, Naran?
If we talk about Rafael Nadal, the greatest of all time and the second most successful player after Novak Djokovic to retire, we can say that Djokovic has 24 Grand Slam titles and Nadal has 22, and we know that in the last 2 years he barely played any tennis, considering the fact that he was suffered with injuries, and last time he played in Olympics where he lost to Novak Djokovic, and there was a great rivalry between these two players, but still Djokovic is playing and Rafael Nadal is retired, and we are hoping that the kind of tennis he played, the dominance he showed at the tennis court, especially at the Roland Garros, 14 French Open titles and most by any player in any tournament, winning 112 matches at the Roland Garros of the 116, a stupendous achievement. So all in all, we can say that it's a end of an era in tennis with the retirement of the Rafael Nadal, and we know that he was an inspiration and role model to the not only for the future generation, for the current and active players, to the kind of dominance he displayed over the years when he won the first French Open, and after that he was also dubbed as a King of Clay because of his dominance on the clay. And if you take a look back in the Roland Garros, barely he lost one match to Robin Soderling and 2 matches to Novak Djokovic, and so it's very difficult to remember who defeated Rafael Nadal at French Open, and he also won 4 US Open, 2 Australian Opens and 2 Wimbledon titles, the greatest of all time. We can say that considering the factors, if you talk about simply numbers, Djokovic has 24 and Nadal has 22, but to define the greatness, to define the
20,000 runs at an international cricketing event in tests. Hitting his 6th test double hundred as well, Joe Root continued to punish the Pakistan bowlers on day 4 of the first test. Root got to his double hundred in 305 balls, building on his maiden test century. And when Joe Root went past 183 on day 4, he also became the first England batter to score 20,000 runs in international cricket.
Root became only the second active international cricketer after Virat Kohli to score as many runs across all three formats of the game. Root became the 13th player and the first since AB de Villiers to go past 20,000 runs in international cricket. Root has also gone past 1,000 runs in a calendar year for the fifth time in his career. The England batter triggered hopes of him going to break Sachin Tendulkar's all-time test record of 15,921 runs. Not only this, Joe Root also scored his sixth double ton at the tournament. If we take a look at the most double hundreds for England, it has been done by Walter Hammond, who scored 7, Joe Root at 6, Alastair Cook at 5, and Leonard Newton at 4. The latest achievement of Joe Root highlights Root's adaptability across all formats of cricket. Sports Desk, DD India.
Now, India clinched the T20I series against Bangladesh, winning second T20 at New Delhi's Arun Jaitley Stadium. The third and final match will be played on the 12th of October for Pride at Hyderabad. Here's more. India registered a dominating victory, defeating Bangladesh in second T20I by 86 runs in New Delhi's Arun Jaitley Stadium to clinch the T20I series. With India winning both T20 internationals, the final match of the series will now be played for Pride in Hyderabad on Saturday, the 12th of October. In a match that saw many emerging stars, Nitish Kumar Reddy bagged the Player of the Match award in just his second T20I. Reddy and Rinku's 108-run standoff, just 49 balls, helped India recover from a shaky start. India's captain Suryakumar Yadav praised his side for recovering well after losing quick wickets. On the other hand, Bangladesh captain Shanto was disappointed that his team repeated their mistakes from the first match. He summed up his team's performance at the post-match presentation, saying that his team needs to improve. The final match will be played at Hyderabad's Cricket Stadium on the 12th of October. Sports Desk, DD India. Now let's talk about Women's T20 Cricket World Cup. India registered their biggest ever margin of victory in Women's T20 World Cup's history, beating Sri Lanka by 82 runs in their third game of 2024 edition. The victory also helped them go above Pakistan and New Zealand in Group A, as well as cross New Zealand's net run rate. Batting first, India put up a daunting score of 172, and thanks to half-centuries by star batters Harmanpreet Kaur and Smriti Mandhana. With the ball, India got off to an electric start, leaving Sri Lanka at 6 for 3 and ultimately bowling them out for 90. India will next face defending champions Australia on Sunday. On the other hand, South Africa produced a superb all-round performance to thrash Scotland by 80 runs in their Group B match at Women's T20 Cricket World Cup in Dubai. After winning the toss and choosing to bat first, South Africa notched up the tournament highest total of 166 for a loss of 5 wickets in 20 overs. Scotland, playing in their first World Cup, were never in the chase and slumped to 80 all out in 17.5 overs. They have been eliminated from the tournament after 3 successive defeats. The victory now lifts South Africa to the top of Group B, while Scotland remains at the bottom. Now, Bangladesh women's cricket team will face 2016 champions, the West Indies, in the ongoing ICC Women's T20 Cricket World Cup on Thursday. Bangladesh is coming into the match after suffering a defeat by 21 runs against England last Saturday. On the other hand, the West Indies hammered Scotland by 6 wickets in its second match played on Sunday in Dubai. Both the teams have won one and lost one match, and they would look forward to win the second match to keep chances of qualifying for the semi-finals alive for them. Bangladesh have never managed to defeat the women's in maroon in T20Is, and so far they can stun them in the upcoming match scheduled to take place today at Sharjah Cricket Stadium. Moving on, now let's get you all the latest from the world of soccer. France will aim to climb the standings in their Nations League group when they face Israel in Budapest tonight. This match is being held in Hungary due to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Les Bleus struggled in their opening game, losing to Italy after taking an early lead. However, they bounced back with a victory over Belgium in their second match. Here's more.
Israel and France clash in the round 3 of the Nations League, with both teams determined to secure the 3 points needed to advance to the next stage. Israel head into this encounter having lost their first 2 matches against Belgium and Italy.
However, they managed to score in both fixtures, making this clash even more challenging. France have had mixed fortune so far. They began their Nations League with a 3-1 defeat to Italy in Paris despite leading, but they bounced back with a comfortable 2-0 win against Belgium.
I take on this responsibility with great pride. We had a discussion with the coach, and afterwards he informed me of this decision. As I said, it's a matter of pride, so I'm very happy. As I said, the most important thing for me is to help my team, whether it's with the French national team or at Real Madrid.
Mbappe, who joined Real as a free agent from Paris Saint-Germain during the close season, has faced criticism in France for not taking part in the games in Budapest and Brussels while being fit to play for the Spanish club.
Le match du week-end, pas en entier.
Mbappe played this weekend match, not the entire game, and not at 100%, of course. Is it a good for the player? Is it good for the French squad? That's the question. And I don't think so. After that, through discussions, there was no request made, but the decision is mine to make, as it is for any coach, based on the information I have at that time.
Israel are hosting their home games in Hungary due to the Israel-Gaza war.
Situation in Israel is really difficult at the moment. I don't think you can realize how the situation is difficult when soldiers defend our borders, kill for our country some hostages that we hope so much that will come back soon. Some situations that happening during this year that keep happening, so this situation is really difficult for us, but in the other side, we know that we have the privilege to give some hope and some moment of happiness for our nation, for our people that stay in Israel, and feeling proud that we are representing Israel.
A win for the visitors could propel them into the top spot in Group A, while a win for Israel would see the group blow wide open at the halfway stage. Sports Desk, DD India.
Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal gear up for upcoming Nations League fixtures against Poland and Scotland. Portugal top Group A1 with 6 points from 2 matches. They will travel to Warsaw to face Poland on Saturday and then head to Glasgow, where they will take on Scotland on Tuesday. Midfielder João Neves said they are expecting 2 tough matches and they will give their best to qualify for the next phase of the European competition.
I expect 2 tough matches. We know the team's strength. We will try to do our best. We have already had training to prepare for the first game. We will do everything we can do to win both games, because that's our mindset and our way of seeing this competition. We want to win. Both games are going to be tough, but our outlook will be the same, whether playing away or at home. We want to win so that we can get closer to qualifying for the next phase.
Argentina's captain Lionel Messi trained with his team in Fort Lauderdale ahead of their match against Venezuela in the upcoming FIFA World Cup qualifiers encounter. The team will return for their World Cup qualifiers against Venezuela and Bolivia after Messi recovered from a right ankle injury, which he picked up during the Copa America final against Colombia in the month of July. Argentina are set to face Venezuela at the Monumental Stadium of Maturin on Thursday. Argentine manager Lionel Scaloni said his side was worried about Hurricane Milton as the team is training in Florida. On the other hand, Bolivia takes on the only team yet to taste defeat in the South American qualifiers for 2026, Colombia, at a stadium located 4,090 meters above the sea level. The Bolivians dream of breaking into the group of teams with clear chances of qualification, while the Colombians strive to maintain their unbeaten record. Bolivia's coach Oscar emphasized that his team's priority will be to deliver a strong performance characterized by intensity and balanced play across all lines. For this match, the host nation will rely on a group of young players who proved their mettle in matches against Chile and Venezuela. Bolivia are 8th in the 10-team FIFA World Cup qualifying group with 9 points, and Colombia are 2nd in the group, 2 points behind leaders Argentina. Moving on to national updates now, the country is paying tribute to India's iconic industrialist and philanthropist Ratan Tata, who passed away at the age of 86 on the 9th of October in Mumbai. India's cricketing body, the BCCI, poured condolences on the passing away of Ratan Tata. In a tweet, the BCCI said, and I quote them, "The BCCI expresses its deepest sorrow and joins the nation in mourning the passing of Sri Ratan Tata ji. His invaluable contributions across diverse fields have been instrumental in shaping India's growth and success story. His extraordinary legacy, founded on the principles of passion, empathy, visionary leadership, innovation and excellence, will continue to inspire and guide future generations for years to come." Unquote. Former Indian batsman Sachin Tendulkar also extended his heartfelt condolences. In a social media post, he said, and I quote him, "In his life and demise, Mr. Ratan Tata has moved the nation. I was fortunate to spend time with him, but millions who have never met him feel the same grief that I feel today. Such is his impact. From his love for animals to philanthropy, he showed that true progress can only be achieved when we care for those who don't have the means to take care of themselves. Rest in peace, Mr. Tata. Your legacy will continue to live through the institutions you built and values that you embraced." Unquote. On the other hand, double Olympics medalist and shooter Manu Patel also shared her thoughts and prayers. She said, and I quote her, "Ratan Tata ji, an icon and a legend, leaves behind an extraordinary legacy. An industrialist and philanthropist, he touched countless lives with his vision, compassion and leadership. Travel well, sir." Unquote. So the world is bidding adieu to legendary Ratan Tata. Moving on, Dronacharya awardees chess coach R.B. Ramesh is super proud of his students, their performances in the recently concluded chess Olympiad. R.B. Ramesh believes it is important to keep adding to the pool of chess players in India. He also feels that D. Gukesh is a favourite one for the World Chess Championship. Take a listen.
We have with us Dronacharya awardee chess coach Mr. R.B. Ramesh. Sir, many congratulations. 3 of your students were part of the team that won gold in the recently concluded chess Olympiad. What do you have to say about the performance of the Indian players and particularly your students?
Yeah, it's an amazing performance by both the open section and in the women's section. We won gold, and not just winning the gold, but the manner in which we won the gold was very special because it was a dominating performance in both the sections. In men's section, right from round 1 till the final round, we were dominating. And kudos to, especially to Gukesh, who gave one of the best ever performances in the top board in Chess Olympiad, and also for Arjun Ergesi. Both of them, they led from the front, and it was also a very good performance by Vidit Gujarati, scoring 7.5 out of 10. So, and the other 2 players, Pragyananda and Hari Krishna, they played an anchor role, and it was a very good collective performance led by both young players and seniors. And in the women's section, they were also leading right from the word go, but there was some small accident in the rounds 8 and 9. Where we had lost some games, and it looked a bit doubtful whether we'll be able to win the gold or not. But in the last couple of games, we defeated China, and it also won the final round and clinched the gold comfortably in both the sections. And coming back to my students, Pragyananda Vaishali did extremely well in the women's section. Prag, slightly it would have been better, but he was playing kind of a Rahul Dravid kind of role for the team, because on the other 2 boards we were scoring a lot of points. And Divya Deshmukh in the women's section, she was my former student when she was till about 3 years ago, and very happy to see that she was the best performer in the women's section.
And what do you have to say about the young crop of chess players in India? You know, if we see the teenagers, Gukesh, R. Pragyananda, Vantika, Divya, what do you have to say about them?
It is extremely important. This is what I have been insisting last 5 to 10 years, that we should not be relying too much on the senior players because they have already contributed a lot for Indian chess for a couple of decades, at least each of those senior players. And it is time for the youngsters to shoulder the responsibility of taking things forward. And I'm glad to see both in men's section, like in men's section, we had 3 teenagers, Arjun, who just became 21, Gukesh and Prag in their late teens. So 3 teenagers almost in top 5. And in the women's section also, as you mentioned, Vantika and Divya. So they both have led from the front. It is usually the youngsters who have done very well in this Olympiad for India, I would say. And this is the main difference between the Indian team and the rest of the team. Most of the other teams, they have very strong players, but they are all quite old and past their prime or getting there. So we have a young team who are very ambitious, who feel they have a lot more to achieve in the future than in the past. So it's always better to have such hungry young players representing the country. Really happy that's happening in our nation.
And how do you see the changing and evolving chess scene in India? You know, suddenly there's this crop of young players. The talent pool is getting bigger and bigger by the day. What are the reasons, according to you?
I think if you take players like Divya Deshmukh, Pragnananda, Gukesh, they are all probably born around 2005 roundabout. So it's not like something suddenly happened, but I would say as like the effort, the process that started around that period, 2004-5, they were all born around that time. So in the last 15 years, whatever effort has gone back in grooming these young children, that is paying the rich dividends, I would say. And it is also especially important that we should not be relying only on this young crop because they'll be young only for another 10-15 years. After that, they will also be in mid or late 30s. So we should not be banking too much on any one or few players. So we should keep the system well-oiled so that more and more young players keep coming to the top.
And how do you look at the chances of D. Gukesh in the World Chess Championship?
Yeah, I think everyone knows that Gukesh is the hot favorite now. He has just given one of the best ever performances in Chess Olympiad, and he also won the candidates quite convincingly a few months ago. And also on the other side, we have Ding Liren, who is the current world champion from China, but his form has been steadily on the decline. And from India number 2 or 3, world number 2 or 3, he has now slipped to around world number 23. So it's going to be like 3 versus 23 in the world, fighting for the world title. So at least on paper, it's Gukesh is the clear favorite by going by the current form. And also Gukesh is, if he wins, he will be the youngest ever world champion. That will be another world record, which is probably extremely difficult for anyone else to break that record in the future. So best wishes to Gukesh, and I'm sure he will win the world championship convincingly.
Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us. And as you said, we also hope that D. Gukesh goes on to win that World Chess Championship. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all for this edition of DD India Sports Buzz. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from the country and the world on the DD India mobile app. You can scan the QR code to download it right now. We'll be back as news breaks here on DD India. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.